My computer has decided that all of the USB jacks, which is the majority of my USB jacks in the back of the computer, decided to stop working simultaneously today. So all I can jack in is my oh crud, that means I can't use my keyboard. I don't have a USB splitter. So all I can plug in is my camera, which has that microphone on it. I just got this great new arm for my Snowball. Snowball can't work either, so thank you for applying. You're fired. And the only other thing I have is my mouse. So I can't change anything unless, actually I can go in on my laptop and change things, but why does everything always happen like this to me? It's just a special kind of blessing, I suppose. And so, yeah, even my extender cable. I have a USB extender cable, which I don't know what could possibly go wrong with this. It looks to be in perfect condition. I can't plug in my camera to this either. And so I have it up here on my shaky monitor, so forgive me if you get motion sickness during this presentation. And I have drawn and quartered tonight. I don't know how I'm going to figure all this stuff out. Elijah, Isaac, would you be a dear and go get me a bottle of water? I know you're playing.
Well, am I your slave?
Yes, you are my slave. Go get me some water. So, I hope the audio's okay. Sorry you can see this little pile of crap over here. I know it's not visually appealing. There's no angle wherein I won't catch a pile of garbage somewhere in the back of my room. So, I hope this is even working. I am streaming, correct? Let me see. Let me go to my channel. Let me go to my channel. Alright. Today's topic, Israel is real. I said it the way John Malin wanted me to. Israel is for the Jews. This I know, for the Bible
Unopened water bottles.
tells me. What? Get one of the big ones. Get me one of the big ones. Yeah, take this. Take this. Take this! It's hard to get good work these days. Withheld, rather not say. Read comics. Brother, you gotta give me a minute, man. You gotta give me a minute. I'm already hip deep in frustration zone. Thank you, my beloved second oldest son. Could you close the door, please?
How to not be happy.
Shouldn't this be called the Low Council? Someone commented. Alright, thank you for that. Is it a PCIe USB board or integrated?
You're trash.
It's the integrated. It's in the. I have 4 USB ports on the back of the computer, and I have 2 in the front, and the 2 in the front are the only ones that are decided to start working today. What is tonight's theme? Actually, we're having a bit of a debate about that behind the scenes. You mean for Drawn and Quartered, right? I think we might be doing Vampirilla tonight. I wanted to do Lone Star, but now there's a the whole Vampirilla thing is a topic too. So, anyways, we'll talk about that later. Right now, let me hit the comments. Withheld, rather not say. I left a comment on a video from a couple days ago, not yesterday's. Or was that yesterday's? No, that wasn't yesterday's. Anyways, at any rate, The comment was, Mike, what's your opinion on interracial marriage? I'm pretty sure it's a positive one, given that you are the product of one, not to mention that you are in one yourself. That is a fair assumption to make. But this leads me to what I think God feels about it. In the Bible, it is said to keep to your own. Well, it doesn't use those words. It says not to be unequally yoked, but that is about faith. But what does that really mean? It means that you don't enter into equal, what should be equal relationships and partnerships with people who have a different minds, people who don't believe like you believe. I can go into a whole thing about this. There are a ton of Jews and Gentiles of different nationalities alongside with followers of Christ. That leads me to the conclusion that God does not care about the color of the person you marry so long as they are fellow believers. That is correct. And the anti-Christian left calls Christianity a white man's faith. Ha! Yeah, absolutely correct. Withheld the Bible, Jesus himself, or not Jesus himself, but the Bible. Well, which ultimately is Jesus, but I mean, is his words. Since, I don't get into that. There is no Jew, no Greek, no slave nor free, no rich nor poor, no black nor white, no Asian, no black, white, Asian, no other. We are all equal under Christ Jesus. We are not to be unequally yoked because that is destructive for a relationship. Even if you're Jewish, you should marry Jewish. If you're a Muslim, stick to the Muslims. If you're an atheist, stick to the atheists. In Christianity, we're very specifically talking about those of the Christian faith, but I'm talking about in general, your religion is supposed to be the core of your belief system, the core of your understanding, right? So if what is at the core of your life and what is the core of your partner's life, your equal partner, your spouse, like one is over here and one is like over here, you don't have the same. It's like the spokes on a bike, right? You have to have spokes in the same place, otherwise the one of us is going to be lopsided. It's going to be a very uncomfortable ride, and eventually one of you is going to get bucked off that bike. So, yes, that is my understanding. There is no racial component to whom you may or may not marry. Those who purport such a thing, they need to check themselves, because ultimately, I don't know how else to say it, that is a completely racist ideology. Now, that said, one can find one race physically more attractive than another, and I don't think that's racism, right? Like, for example, I don't find Asian... I know I'm Asian. It's really weird. I don't find Asian women attractive. I mean, I can see when an Asian woman is beautiful, and I can understand and I can appreciate that. But for me, I have no attraction to that. And I can't be being racist because I'm Asian, so... Right? So, you can have preferences of what you find particularly beautiful. Some people might find very alabaster-skinned women beautiful, or more beautiful than very tanned women, or very dark-skinned women more beautiful than lightly skinned, whatever. People have individual tastes. That has nothing to do with racism, right? That's like, what flavor ice cream is your favorite? I don't know, but I love ice cream, so you gotta love all the ice cream. You can have favorite colors. You can have favorite flavors. Colors. Yeah, green. I love mint chip. Green chocolate. Green with chocolate chips is my favorite color ice cream. Oh, that works with pistachio too. Oh my gosh. Have you ever mixed pistachio ice cream with mint chip? It is so good. Someone should make a pistachio mint ice cream. It's so good. I know, that's totally getting off the point. Sorry. Now I just really, really want some pistachio and mint ice cream. Because green's my favorite color ice cream. I don't know why. Is that weird? I don't, and it's not right when like you have pistachio ice cream, but it's white. Isn't that weird? Or mint chocolate chip and the mint and it looks like vanilla. Doesn't make any sense. All right. So Derek DeFlam says, I'm attracted to pretty. Well, to each his own. To each his own. But I'm just trying to make the difference between racism and preference, visual, or whatever. You know? And I think it probably has a lot more to do with you know what? I don't want to do. I don't want to get into it. You heard it here first, folks. Women are like ice cream. There's always a favorite. It's true. It's true. I have one particular favorite, and I married her. That's my favorite ice cream of all. Justin says, I'll take Asian women off your hands for you, Mike. We'll call it a cultural exchange. They're all yours. Go for it. You made that sound way more intense than I thought it sounded. Sorry. But isn't that ice cream flavor unequally yoked? No, 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 because the center of every ice cream is cream and sugar. So the centers are the same, but you can have different peripherals, and you can have different interests in the different peripherals. I may not like coffee beans in my ice cream because I don't want the you can get like espresso beans and stuff. I don't want that in my ice cream. I don't. But I still love ice cream, and I'll still love the rest of the ice cream regardless of if there's coffee beans in it. Cross-examinations, everyone. Yes, Thomas Fitzpatrick, we are cross-examining the ice cream today. Let's see. Let's go back up and say hello to everyone. Withheld, hello. Everyone, could you please hit that like button, hit that share button. Let's get some more folks in here for some cross-examinations while my computer is still running at the very least. Ugh. Computer sucks. But we're live. Alright. Tweet. Tweedly diddly dee, tweedly diddly dee. And how's my sound? Because I am using this microphone rather than my nice microphone with the wonderful swivel arm that I just got. Then I can no longer... At any rate. Hello, Withheld, Metalhead, Tinfoil Hats. Tinfoil Hats, Israel is not a terrorist state. I'm sorry you feel that way, but you are incorrect. Withheld, rather not C. Hugh. P. Money. Thybors. Ivan, of course. Thunderbird, Cupstadon. Any Justin, what's up? Derek. Is that everybody that has chatted? Joe? Alright. I like women of all races, says Withheld, rather not say. Well, I like people of all races. Race is nothing but a... whatever. Race doesn't really exist. We're all humans. And I like people. But I like people individually. I don't like one group more than another, except, I probably like socialists least of all. But that's an ideology. But I can find certain groups more attractive than others. It's just a natural inclination. And I can point out, even in the groups that I may not be attracted to, I can certainly tell when someone is beautiful. But I don't know, something about... I think it's got more to do with having an Asian mother than anything else. I've actually had this discussion with a Chinese friend of mine, and he's like, "Yep." Because you'll notice that Asian men in America almost ubiquitously don't go out with Asian women. And I was talking to him, I'm like, yeah, that's because we have Asian mothers. He's all, yep. Anyways. Let's see. Hopefully no Avengers spoilers today. Nope. Not today. That's a bummer. Draw Miss Sunday naked. I will not. No. The KKK are heretics. Indeed. Well, if they claim to be Christians and they are racist, then I don't find anything racist about the Bible. So, yeah. It's okay to find blondes more attractive than brunettes. Why is skin color off limits? It is not. And, that's the thing. That's just a natural... I married brunettes. I love brunettes. The thing about brunettes is they have to be even more beautiful than blondes, because it's just sort of a biological scientific fact. The human eye finds yellow more attractive. Like, your eye is naturally drawn. They use this in marketing, okay? Yellow is the most attractive color to the human eye. So blonde hair is just, you automatically get an extra. It's a given. It's like, boom, blonde, yellow. Natural biological function, yellow attractive. Therefore, blondes don't even have to be technically as attractive as brunettes, and you'll find them just as attractive, even though you shave their heads and you look at the brunette and you'll be like, whoa, she's way hotter than that blonde without hair. And it's also why so many women dye their hair blonde. Pistachio. Zach seems to like his ice cream chocolate, if you know what I mean. Hey, I love chocolate ice cream too. Try mint chocolate chip mixed with ginger ice cream. I'd try that. Female examinations. Hey, you know what? It's all part of life, and life is all, the Bible, our faith, it is all one. It all works. It's supposed to work in tandem. So, yeah. Audio is good. God did create woman, so yes. And Eve was the perfect woman. Sound is horrible on your end. All right, we've got one good audio, one horrible audio. Nothing I can do about it except turn the audio up or down. And it looks like I'm hitting right at that mid-range, so I don't really want to mess with that. TPQ says, is this the Bill Nye Gender Show, talking about all of the different flavors of ice cream? I'm just trying to make an illustrative point. Illustrative. I'm hoping between this and Count Dankula are hopping. Oh, hopping. No, Naked, Night Queen, Night King. Stop with that. I like people individually too, Mike. I hope I don't marry a witch. Pray long and hard about who you marry. And if the person you're in a relationship with makes you miserable before you're married, believe me, getting married is not going to solve that problem. I had a friend, and the day before his wedding, we were driving to his fiance's house, and he goes, I'm sitting in his truck, and he goes into his fiance's house, and he's in there, and I hear this yelling and all that stuff, and he comes back out into the truck, and he's like, I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. This should have been a sign. They were divorced like 10 years later. Maybe 15. 10 or 15 years later. Now he's happy as a clam with another woman who is not constantly trying to tear him down. But yeah, if you're wondering to yourself if she's making you miserable before you even get married, getting married is not going to fix her. So, just a heads up. Just a heads up. Wait, Mike is Asian.
You are correct, sir.
I am Oriental. I prefer the word Oriental because my family is from the Orient. I am not Russian, who are also Asian. I am not Indian, who are also Asian, or Pakistani, who are also Asian. I am from a particular part of the continent of Asia known as the Orient. And we have specific particular traits, and thus I prefer to be called Oriental. And all of you SJWs who hate that can bite me. Alright,
Eat my shorts.
my wife said she married her mother. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. My wife could probably say the same thing. I have my mother-in-law and I used to clash all the time because we had similar personality traits, whereas my wife's personality traits are more like her father. So it's like she's very chill, he's very chill, I'm very high-strung, her mother was very high-strung. So I get the same thing, P-Money. Super Crusader, I'm redheaded with a smattering of freckles. I like redheaded women with a smattering of freckles. Am I a narcissist? Entirely possible. I think redheaded women with a smattering of freckles are adorable. But oftentimes they are crazy. So you have to be careful. Amelia Clark is way better being blonde. See, that's funny. I find Amelia Clark more attractive as a natural brunette. Maybe it's because the wigs are just terrible. Personally, I prefer redheads, even if they have a few freckles. I'm Irish and Cherokee. My woofer. WK. I hate typing in a phone. Artem Cero says, as a Latina living in brunette land, I can confirm this color theory. Haha. Excal, what discussion did I walk into? We're examining the. I don't know. We should stop. This is getting a little weird, but we still have about 8 minutes to go before we jump into the topic of the day. So, I guess we're not gonna stop. All right. Now I'm craving ginger. Going out for sushi. Yeah, some sushi ginger. Sushi ginger. That stuff. The pickled ginger. I love that. Wait, isn't the Bible in a way a cross-examination of a woman? Specify. Audio sounds fine to me. Good. Audio is kind of spiky. I don't know why. I like my women like I like my video games. Short and... No, Super Crusader. That is not good. If you have a separate preamp, turn your preamp down and turn the output up. It's not bad. I just can hear the unnecessary noise. Yeah. All I have is that this camera has microphones on it, so you're gonna pick up everything. Maybe I can close the window behind. My shoulder still hurts. This might. That'll help with the noise. Otherwise, we're still gonna pick up everything else. So that should help. Yeah, that is quieter in here. What are my thoughts on blending faith and horror in storytelling? Just dropped a campaign teaser on Twitter today for just that. Launches October 1st. I don't know. I remember being told that Scott Derrickson, before Scott Derrickson was anybody, being told that he was pitching the idea of Hellblazer when he was going to do Hellblazer, that the pitch was, and this kind of blew the Hellblazer people's minds, was that this was a guy who apparently, did everything right, but ended up in hell anyways. because none of us are good enough to enter heaven. And it like the guys that never, it's always about, punishment for some evil thing you particularly did. But this guy was just your average dude. He, wasn't a murderer. He wasn't a thief. He wasn't any of all those other things. And but he ended up in Pinhead's gig anyway. So I don't know. I think that's something you need to worry about yourself, because I'm not a horror guy. I think horror on sort of a peripheral level, sort of a like a genre level. Like, the things that go bump in the night in Lone Star. Lone Star 2 now available at LoneStarComic.com. I use vampires. I'm gonna at some point use the other horror standby creepy crawlies, but I use them as foils for a action adventure sort of a story. It's not meant to creep people out and scare them, but I don't know. I couldn't say that was necessarily wrong. I don't think I can think of anything in the scripture that would I mean, what is your point, I guess, is what you have to focus on. Oh gosh darn it, my chat hasn't even been going. Let me refresh it. Alright, sorry, that chat was not I guess all I had to do was click on it. Now I messed it up again. Alright. I like men of all races. I don't see race. I'm African American, dated white and black men. You don't have any particular preference? Like, I know some black dudes that, like, their preference is Asian girls. Actually, I know some white dudes that are like that too. But yeah, see, to me, the preference thing is not racism. It's just, I like all the ice cream. That's why I brought up the ice cream. I like all the ice cream. I just prefer certain ice creams over other ice creams. Meh. Mexico isn't in the Orient, Mike. Derek. Well, SJWs seem to hate Asians, so sign of beta. Aren't we all American? No, we are not all American. Just people who were born here are American. We have other people here who are not Americans. We even have some Canadians. A day without redheads is like a day without sunshine. I'm Italian and I married a redheaded woman with a smat of freckles. Alright. Sketch says, college can't know Mike's kids are Oriental. There's a limit to how many Asians can enter STEM because they need spots for representation despite lower GPAs. I know. Yeah. The whole college system is racist against Asians because they have to have higher scores than anybody else just to get into school, because we don't live on a meritocracy anymore. We live in a race-autocracy. A race hypocrisy. How about letting the best students in? And if that means that there's an oversampling of Asians and Jews, so be it. We want the best and the brightest to be doctors. We don't want... Here's do you know what you call the last guy in his class at medical school to graduate? The last guy, the guy with the lowest grades, the lowest performance, barely gets by graduating medical school. Do you know what you call that guy? I'll give you a second. I want to see some of your answers. David Peterson nails it on the head. You call him doctor. That's right. That's right. You call him doctor. And then, unfortunately, you go see him, and he kills you because medical malpractice is responsible for more deaths in this country than I think just about anything else. All right, to the topic of the day. Apparently, I have to keep hitting this thing for it to pop up. All right, let me see if I can get the topic. Oh. All right, there's that. Let me see if I can go to OBS and find it. Restream, browser, Brave. Bing. There it is. Nice. Something worked. All right, today, Israel's ambassador uses Bible to prove Jewish people's claim to Israel at UN session. In a passionate speech on Monday, Danny Danon, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, used the Bible as evidence to prove the Jewish right to claim Israel. During the special session at the United Nations Security Council on Monday, Danon defended the Jews' religious and historical connection to Israel by citing four main pillars of reasons: the Bible, history, international law, and the pursuit of international peace and security. I think this comes up later in the article. Danon, who has been the representative to the UN since 2015, cited God's covenant with Israel, reading from Genesis 17. "And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you throughout the generations for an everlasting covenant. And I will give to you and your descendants after you all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God." Dramatically raising his Bible in the air, he turned towards the ambassador saying, "This is the deed to our land." I love that. From the book of Genesis to the Jews' Exodus, from Egypt to receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai, and to the realization of God's covenant in the Holy Land of Israel, the Bible paints a consistent picture. The entire history of our people and our connection to Eretz Israel begins right here, he added, holding the Bible high. Danon went on to argue that not only does the Bible point out the Jews' right to Israel, but so does the Quran. The Quran itself accepts the divine deed of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, he pointed out. Danon explained that the Jewish kingdom was built twice and destroyed twice, by the Babylonians, then by the Romans. Not only was their kingdom destroyed, but the Jews were forced out of their own land in 70 CE. AD, as we call it in my world. Danon explained, "In 70 AD, Roman Emperor Titus destroyed our second temple, expelled the Jewish people, and renamed the land nestled between Egypt and Lebanon, Syria Palestina, as a southern province of Syria. That is where the name Palestine comes from, though Jews still lived in Jerusalem," he argued. For 2 millennia, Jews across the world continued to pray 3 times a day, every day, for our long-awaited return to Zion and Jerusalem. As we just said on Passover last week, as we do every year, next year in Jerusalem, Danon said. In a Twitter thread on April 29th, Ambassador Danon shared the 4 pillars that he presented at the UN session. I don't need to read that part. In his third tweet, Danon said, "To blame Jewish communities in Judea Samaria for lack of peace misreads history." He then listed on the various attempts at peace that Arabs have rejected over the years. 1937 Peel Commission Report, 1947 UN Partition Plan, 1948 Israel Truce, 2000 Camp David Summit, 2001 Taba Summit, and the 2007 Annapolis Conference. In his 4th and final tweet, Danon argued that in order to reach real peace, his 4 pillars must be realized. First, Palestinians must accept and recognize the Jewish state of Israel. Second, Palestinians must end their campaign of incitement. Third, regional cooperation is necessary. Fourth, Israel will never compromise our security. Nor should they. All right. So that is the topic of the day. What does the peanut gallery think? Da, 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 da. Topic. Because letting them in... Oh, Artemis Arrow says, back to the previous topic. Because letting them in by meritocracy would erase the left's idea that we are all gray lumps that can easily be brainwashed. Yeah. Take that, Christians. I'm sure that went over like a lead balloon. Yeah, right? The freaking UN, man. I swear we should abolish the UN. It's ridiculous. Edwin says, when you finish up, let me know which topic to promote for Drawn and Quartered. Yeah, Edwin, I will. I'm leaning towards Vampirilla. I do have 3 more weeks to promote Lone Star. Was Dannon eating yogurt? Really? If Jesus Christ was a Jew, that means that Christians, previous Jews, do have a claim to Israel too. No. I mean, ultimately, when Christ returns to the land, but it was the land was given specifically to the Jewish people. They each got their own partitions of land. The 12 tribes were broken up into the 12, and then, like time after time, they were divided, subdivided. The land is for the Jews, not the Gentiles who were grafted into Judaism through Christianity. Jews? Nah, I love my Aztec culture. Is your favorite part the human sacrifice and the beheadings? What's your favorite part of your Aztec culture? Because from my reading of history, the Aztecs were kind of like the Nazis of the Middle America. No offense. I mean, the Japanese were like the Nazis of Asia, so I get it. I just wish they would end segregation. It just makes easier targets. Withheld says, weren't the Aztecs like the Nazis? There you go. I guess you've been reading history too. He's confusing the UN with facts. P-Money says, what is ownership? Is it finders keepers like the Native Americans? It's a tough thing to figure out for me. Well, if you go historically, then the owners of the land are the people who win it and who occupy it and who maintain it, right? The ownership of land has changed and altered and faltered and switched everywhere on the planet for as long as mankind has existed. The deed to the land that Israel occupies now is biblical, but they had to take that land. They took that, they were granted that land, and then they had to maintain that land, and they had to, that's ownership, right? The Native Americans aren't going to be able to be like, hey, we want California back. It's like, well, first of all, Mexico had California. We got it from them. They might have taken it from you, but you took it from some other Native American tribe, right? That's just life, man. Maps always change. Ownership continues to change. Israel is there now. They own it. They have every right to own it. They have every right to protect themselves. America needs to pull out of the UN and NATO. Both would collapse without American money propping them up. I agree with you 100%, Perkindo. 100%. David Peterson says, if God says it, let it be so. I try not to put my own morals on what it says in the Bible. If so, God said that the land is the Jews. It's the Jews. I agree with you 100%. You guys can ask questions. It takes me longer to ask questions than it does to just read comments. Perkindo says Israel was promised to the Jewish people by God, and he does not break his promises. True. Dark Thrones. Aztecs are Nazis? LOL. Dark Throne, no, they were the worst. I can teach you about the Aztecs Blacklist universe. Okay, but I am correct in that the Aztecs were the ones that were raiding the other Central American tribes, ruling over them, capturing them, sacrificing them, and generally being incredibly barbaric. Hey, they built the pyramids. Mussolini got the trains to run on time. And Hitler loved his dog. But hey, I'm not one to talk. Again, the Asian Oriental world, the Japanese were, they had that role. So, and I'm proud of my culture too. So, I'm not going to pretend that my culture didn't do some really crappy stuff. Sketch says, I don't like American, Israeli, Irani, Saudi, UAE, Emirates, United Emirates, Turkish, Iraqi politicians. The land is for the Jews. Sure, as long as it's not for the politicians. They are mostly godless. I don't know. I haven't interviewed most of the politicians, so I couldn't say. I just realized that my last statement missed the possessive apostrophe, so probably the SJWs are going to take it out of context and use it. Alright, Yuhen is the head of the beast. I don't believe that. Dark Throne says, I understand you, but it was not just that, and you know it. Oh, no. I know it. Absolutely. I mean, they built the bloody Aztec pyramids. They were quite advanced, other than all the other crap. But hey, you know what? I mean, they terrorized the rest of Central America so much that when the Spanish came over, all the other tribes joined the Spanish to take out the Aztecs. So maybe if the Aztecs were like a little nicer to all the other tribes, when the Spanish came, they could have joined the Aztecs to fight off the Spanish. But it didn't work that way. Netanyahu is definitely Jewish. True! There's no way to view American land ownership in terms of race. We are way too mixed for that. Most Americans with 200 years of history here have some Native American blood. Right, you're all right. Said, just back to you. Book number 709. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, let's get a quick checkup. See where Lone Star is. I've been trying to break 50,000 today within the first week, and we are at the Mac. Takes a while to load. One of you has probably answered me, posted it in here before I could get to it. David Peterson. 1,024 parts exactly. Average American has 1% native blood. Oh my gosh, why is that taking so long to load? That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. We're at exactly 50,000 right now.
I bet someone donated it.
How could, yeah, what did someone donate an exact amount to get me to exactly 50,000?
Probably.
That's amazing. I need to screen cap this. Oh, I need to screen cap this on a better system. On a better, I don't want it to go away.
Wait, you want me to screenshot it?
Hold on. LoneStarComic.com. Please nobody buy anything until I get a screen cap of this at exactly 50,000. Because that is epic.
It's like you missed
epic!
$1 buy.
Otherwise I have to use this backroom version of the image. Wow. 50,000 in 6.5 days. I still have half a day to get to... Oh, actually, no, wait. Tomorrow at like noon is 7 days. So...
It's only been 7 days.
It hasn't been 7 days yet.
What?
It has not yet been 7 days. Alright, I'm going to screen cap this, and I'm going to tweet it, and, dang, son! Yeah, boy! I'm a little excited. We just hit 50K! LoneStarComic.com. Oops, Lone Star Comic. That's not right. LoneStarComic.com. Bam! Santa Maria. This is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. How much time we got left on this episode? We got about 15 minutes left. All right, let's not focus on Lone Star doing $50,000 in 6 days. Mike begging for no more sales. Okay, I got the screen cap. Feel free to go and support it now. LoneStarComic.com, LoneStarComic.com. This is the last day that you can get cover A. And no, someone asked if you can get a cover A, cover B combo, or a cover A, cover C combo. No. The reason I dropped the shipping price down to $5, where everyone else is charging $10, is in case someone wants to buy 2 covers, then the 2 covers will essentially be a standard shipping price. So I cut my shipping price in half just in case someone wants to buy 2 comics and that's all they want to buy. So no, I will not be doing combo sales. I hope everyone understands that. All right, let's get back to the topic at hand. Everyone is very excited for hitting 50K. Believe me, believe it, I am very, very excited. Excited about that. Yes. Nations are like people. I'm 99% Viking and 1% Jewish. I'm fiercely proud of my heritage. You can celebrate the good while remembering not to repeat the bad. Amen, Super Crusader. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of my Japanese heritage. I am not proud at all of the crappy things the Japanese have done. But yeah, I don't have to focus on the crappy things. I'm also part German. I am proud to be part German. I don't focus on the whole Nazi thing. I'm also a quarter Norwegian. Very proud of my own Norwegian heritage. Not entirely proud of all the things Vikings did. You know what I mean? Every culture has done bad things. Every culture has done good things. So be proud of the good things, whatever your cultures, whatever your particular mix has done. And yeah, learn from history. Don't repeat the bad things. Nobody needs more Vikings running around raping everybody. Nobody needs more Nazis running around killing all the Jews. Nobody needs more Japanese people going around just terrorizing all of Asia. All right? We understand. And nobody needs Aztecs rising up to sacrifice all the other people in Central America. It's just, don't worry about it. Without says, ancestor shaming is garbage. Press I if you agree. I. Mike is the human axis. LOL. You Italian too? I am not Italian. I have zero Italiano in me. But I do love Italy. So perhaps. Well, no. Church Bell. I asked a question yesterday. I couldn't answer. Firstly, because I couldn't. Secondly, because I didn't want to. But I was asked if it's wrong to read the Bible on the toilet. No, it's not. It's not wrong to read the Bible on the toilet. It's I mean, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. It's not the cleanest room in the house, but some people like to read on the toilet, so. Sketch says, hey, Mike, remember the story of how all ritual seems a perversion of ancient Judeo ritual? Not all ritual, but many what are called folk religions or legendary rituals, they are very Jewish. You'll have culture, like island cultures in the South Pacific that maintain scapegoat rituals, right? Scapegoats straight out of the Bible. Yeah, you've got a lot of very. I mean, the Shang dynasty in China, the very first dynasty, they worshipped Shang-Ti. Shang-Ti is the name. It literally translates into heavenly emperor. So they worshipped a heavenly emperor. This was hundreds of years before Confucius came in and just took over. But they worshipped the heavenly emperor. They had a temple. They had temple sacrifice for the sins of the people. It was very, very Jewish, right? And then one of the generations of the Shang dynasty decided that, well, you know, I think only we should be able to worship God, and then all the people can just worship us. So they went all Catholic. And then when the people couldn't worship God, they just became there was this spiritual emptiness in them. And then eventually a man named Confucius comes along, and he has this spiritual philosophy, and the Chinese people just ate it up because they were longing for that. That, you know, that they always say that God-shaped hole in your heart. They were longing for spiritual truth and spiritual enlightenment and all that stuff. And because they were no longer allowed to worship Shang-Ti, which is literally their name for God, right? Shang-Ti, the heavenly emperor, the king of heaven. Who's that? Who's the king of heaven? We know him. But yeah, so that's what happened. There's lots of cultures, lots of ancient religions, ancient cultural stuff like that is just very, very Jewish. Because in the beginning, that was how we worshipped God, right? That was how we worshipped God. Low blow mic. I'm not sure what the low blow was. Dark Throne says, will one day make a Lone Star and Cyberfrog crossover? I'll talk to Ethan about it, but maybe I could do that as a stretch goal for the third Lone Star series. That could be fun. Could be fun indeed. My cousin asked me, it seems disrespectful to me. I mean, I can see that. But, you know, I mean, I've seen the Bible in the bathroom, and I've grabbed it while I was otherwise occupied myself. So I'd be a hypocrite if I tried to condemn somebody else for doing it. But hey, to each his own. To each his own, right? All things are legal. Not all things edify. But I don't know. Are you edifying the Lord by reading the Bible, regardless of what your circumstances are? I'll leave that to you. I'm not going to answer it. P Money says, it's also fine to read on toilet because it's not even the book that's important. It's the words. If reading on the toilet gets in your head, then that's a perfect spot for you. TBQ disagrees. Says, so wrong. It's wrong to ask if you can read on the toilet, says Reed Trump. My ancestors say, this is Sparta. Mexican food is kosher. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't see why it couldn't be made kosher, but yeah. The Catholic comment. Oh, the Catholic comment. Well, I mean, that's essentially what Catholicism does, right? Hey, don't worship God. Don't worship Jesus. You have to confess to this man, right? You don't confess to Christ. You confess to a man. Maybe it was a low blow. But anyone getting in between me and my God, just like they did in ancient China, right? They said, you can't worship God directly. You have to worship us, and we'll worship God for you. I don't need a middleman between me and God. No one does. There is no mediator between you and Christ, right? Well, actually, no. It says there's no mediator between man and God except but the man Christ Jesus, and obviously Christ is God. So there's no mediator but Christ. It's you, Christ, Father. I and the Father are one. So let's not get into the whole Trinity thing. But there should be no human being in between you and your relationship with God. Ever. Ever. And that is a very Catholic thing. Sorry. If I'm wrong, explain to me why I'm wrong. I didn't mean to insult, but that is my perspective. Also, your drawings suck. Where was that? Your drawings suck. Your figures are rigid and stiff. Read Figure Drawing by Steve Houston. DQ. Oh, Jews are responsible for the moral and financial degradation of America. Also, your drawings suck. Your figures are rigid and stiff. Read Figure Drawing by Steve Houston. I will take that with a grain of salt. The Bible is epic. Indeed, indeed. It makes no logical sense. Well, I wouldn't say that. Excal, I know that going to the temple had all kinds of purification rituals and stuff. At least I think it did. I'm a little rusty. I don't know what that comment is about. Yeah, DQ. David Peterson says, DQ, I'm expecting to change my mind at the end of that. Joe K, please don't swear in the chat. Thank you. Sorry for derailing the show. And then Peter responds, to be fair, we always derail the show. It's true. This show is organic. This is not... I start with the comments. This is a fellowship where you guys can ask questions. You can ask questions of me, of each other. We just try to fetter stuff out. And then I pop in halfway through the episode with a subject of the day, and then we wring that dry. And then sometimes we just go on and batter things around in the chat. Sometimes I'll have some long, eloquent diatribe, but most often not. Dark Admiral says, I'm not reading the Bible in the bathroom, but I am reading The Case for Christ. That's a good book. Excellent book. Medical problem. Actually, they made a really good movie. I didn't think they could make a good movie out of The Case for Christ, but they made a really good movie out of The Case for Christ. What did I think of the Winterfell battle? I actually liked it. I didn't think it was perfect. I understand the problems that a lot of people have with it, but boy, I just enjoyed the heck out of watching it. And then I watched it a second time to be critical, but I just found myself enjoying it again. So as a matter of just sheer enjoyment, I give it a 9. If I stop and think about it, yeah, I understand the problems. But I didn't want it to take away from my enjoyment, so let's not argue what Catholics believe. Okay, that's fine with me. I think we need Mike for this one. For what one? As it were, as I wanted to believe. Church bell, good point. No bullying Mike. Bully away. Bully! I have the power of the mute. Dark Admiral March Hare says, good grief, that's ugly. Don't know what you're talking about. Isn't the Catholic Church the first... Oh, come on, Sketch. First Reich, I don't think... Every Jew hater. Blame the Jews. Yep. Yeah, in fact, we had... There's a person who wrote me back from one of my emails, and they're like, do you really think I'm going to support you now that you've called me anti-Semitic in your chat? I'm like, bruh. I'm like, you came off as anti-Semitic to me. You came off as anti-Semitic to everybody in the chat. So maybe you should consider what you're saying and why it's coming off as anti-Semitic, rather than getting mad at someone for pointing out that you sound like you're anti-Semitic. By the way, guys, being anti-Semitic is being anti-Christian too. Hating the Jews is hating Jesus. I'm just going to put that right out there. Pixelation with the darkness. 40,000 novels. I'm reading 40,000 novels in the bathroom. I don't want to sit on the toilet that long, honestly. I just want to get in and out. That's not the place I want to spend my day. Reed Troutman says Mike's art is pristine and incredibly graceful. To say it sucks is hilarious. I think it has gotten way better in just the time he has been in CG. Well, I'm putting a lot more time into each page than I did previously, because before it's like paycheck, bam, I gotta get a page a day done because I got bills to pay, and so now I'm like, this page will be done when I am done with this page. So it's much, yeah, I'm producing the best work of my career, I believe. John was the one who should have killed the Night King. Yes. I mean, the entire Azor Ahai prophecy and storyline was just chucked out the window so that Arya could kill him. But as a plot twist, I mean, Melisandre's prophecies have been wrong one after the other, right? So, as a plot twist, Arya being the one that uses her ninja skills to come out of the blue and kill the Night King. Oh, spoilers. I was not seeing that coming at all. So that was fun for me as a plot twist. It's like Ned getting killed in the first season, right? Just like you did not see that coming at all. Everything was pointing away from that happening, and then off with his head. So as a plot twist, I found that very enjoyable. But yeah, it really just chucks all of this prophecy out the window. Blaming Jewish people for the application of Marxism worldwide is silly. Marxists are godless and don't believe in inheritance. I think most Jewish people believe in your right to own, inherit, and worship. Yeah, just because Marx was a Jew by birth, not even by faith, he was an atheist. All right? If you're going to blame anyone for Marxism, you blame the atheists because he was an atheist. It doesn't matter what his his genetics were. It matters what he believed, and he was an atheist. You know what they say? Wherever you find 4 Catholics, you'll find a 5th? Oh, you mean a 5th? Glug, 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 that kind of 5th? Dark Admiral says, I was talking about the shot at the Jews and then your artwork. Yeah, that person, I think they're gone. I think it was just a hit and run. Cowardice. Coward! Racism is anti-Christian. Amen. Amen, amen. X-Gal says, Mike, I gotta tell you, my dad saw the cover and interior pages of Lone Star and was blown away. He's an excellent artist, and I get my artistic talent from him. Oh, thank you, X-Gal. Good to hear. Thank you. Do you think Jesus would favor the iPhone over the Android? Absolutely not. I'm not going to give you any reasons, but Arabs are Semitic people too. Yeah, and there are Jewish Arabs. Arab is not a religion. Muslim is a religion. Arab is a gene pool. And there are Arabic or Arab Muslims. There are Arab Jews. There are Arab Christians. So, I think he meant Warhammer or maybe 40,000 novels. Oh. Headphones, Blacklist Universe. Oh, sorry. Oh, wow. You guys didn't tell me we were 5 minutes over. Come on. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to try to figure something out to fix this computer before I have to start before I have to start drawn and quartered tonight, let's give that old. Oh, I can't. I don't even have it on here. I don't have it on here. All right, never mind. I'm going to give the Indiegogo one more shakeout and see if we've jumped over 50K since the last, 20 minutes? We are currently standing at $50,145. So thank you very much, everyone, for your support. What are you guys drawing tonight? I think we're going to do Vampirilla. But I got to talk to the boys about it, and we'll find out. So thank you, everyone, for being here. LoneStarComic.com. This is your last day to get, till like noon tomorrow, to get the Broken Glass cover. So if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Love you all. Read your Bible. Spend time on your knees in prayer. On your knees in worship. And be good to each other.